Hello, my name is Adam David, and welcome to my presentation of Science of Soul. This presentation I'm going to aim to bridge more recent scientific discoveries along with the esoteric science that is taught to people about spirituality and the soul. To sum it up, basically, a lot of research and evidence suggests that the soul is electrical in nature. And what this means is that we are surrounded by electrical phenomenon, and our souls and spirit are just one aspect of it. But really, spirit is the whole thing. So as we get into this presentation, I hope to show a collection of other people's works that I think add up to a cohesive theory that explain what we are in these human spacesuits. So I guess let's get started. So I guess a good place to start would be, what's the difference between a live body and a dead body? It's the age-old question, right? So the medical field would say that death is typically defined as an irreversible loss of functions like brain activity, circulation, respiration, and it's used for, and they usually use this for, determining if they're going to pull a life support on someone. So basically they're treating us like we're a bunch of wind-up dolls. In the 1900s, there were people that were thinking about this. For example, there was a Dr. Duncan McDougall who wanted to do an experiment where he weighed some animals before and after death. What he discovered was that there was a small amount of weight difference between the alive bodies and the dead bodies. And due to an electrical phenomenon where matter has more weight if it has charge, and it's not a lot of weight, 21 grams was the average missing. So he surmised that because of such a small amount of weight missing, it must be that the soul is electrical in nature. So he proposed that the departing soul carries electrical charge, contributing to the observed weight loss. So to sum up my total theory here before we get into this, souls and spirit are multidimensional. And the theory is that what we call soul operates from both higher and lower octaves that are in harmonic resonance with through a sort of DNA radio. Spirit is the medium in which souls operate, and it is all-encompassing, like a river of multidimensional electrical charge, or perhaps it's the matrix itself. Reality operates in a top-down and then back up again function. So what we do down here does affect reality as a totality. While we don't dictate reality entirely, we do have some say. And finally, spirit is electrical in nature and it operates at very, very low microvoltages, which make it incredibly difficult to detect when we're throwing around 50, 60 volts everywhere and 120 and 240 in some cases, and much more in a lot of others. And finally, before we really get into this, I want to point out that human vision is very narrow and it is based off of things that reflect back at us. We're surrounded by this large range of electrical waves that we interact with, but we aren't even aware of. So as you can see at this graphic at the bottom, a very, very small range that we're able to inhabit here. So what I want to remind us is that the word angels has always meant beings that are at an angle to us. There's probably one right here, right now. So here are the topics. I want to first focus on what is a plasma torus. Then we're going to look at what is fractality. Then we're going to look at the difference between transverse waves and longitudinal waves, or scalar waves as they're sometimes called. Then we're going to look at reason objects fall to the ground and how that kind of answers the question of what a soul is, because we'll get into it. From there, we're going to look at how sacred geometries affect electric charge and why they've been taught for thousands of years. We're going to look at why we're electrical plasma inhabiting living organisms and how that works. And then finally, we're going to look at the inflection point of consciousness, or Planck length. And I think at the totality of this, we're going to have a theory that gives us, as I'm calling it, the keys of the kingdom, so that we can start to look at things like numerology and astrology, and we can understand that they are literally real sciences that describe our reality. So let's begin. So what is a plasma torus? To put it simply, it's an electric donut. As you can see here on the side, this is the inside of the plasma torus, and let's just assume this is a very good-looking plasma torus. So what is plasma? Plasma is the fourth state of matter in which atoms and molecules are highly energized, leading to the ionization of electrons. And this allows all the particles to be charged inside the plasma torus. And plasma can be found in various forms throughout nature, like the stars, like our sun, in lightning, and in the auroras. It's also used widely in technology and such. For instance, it's used in the spark gap. So the spark plug in a car is actually plasma when it ignites the engine. Some of the properties of a torus. Everything within a torus' influence is pulled through its center. The outside of the torus are rotated around until reaching the inside curvature again. So basically, It goes round and round until it comes back to the center. Recursively receives information from the previous trip around the torus, and this creates the illusion of a past, present, and future from the center vantage point of the torus. So right here in the center, if you were here, to the right would be the future, and to the left would be the past, and the donut is moving in a clockwise formation around the outside. It's the shape of 99.9% of the universe, including ourselves. The outer geometrical shape of it is represented by a dodecahedron. We'll get more into that as well. And a well-functioning torus has the properties of being negentropic, which is the opposite of entropy, which is what we're all told is the final fate of the galaxy. However, it's not. And we'll get into that as well. Here down on the bottom left, you can see how a torus is formed. You basically take two flat energy structures and you have them interact with each other, and they'll wrap around each other, then they'll fold, and then you've got, through a series of steps, you get this nested torus. Here's the basic shape of a torus. As you can see on the left here, it goes around the center, back around, and then to the center again. In this example, this torus and most toruses go counterclockwise. Here are some more examples of toruses. At the top left, you can see, the galaxy. And then in the middle, a lot of people just think this is what angels look like when you interact with them in their normal form. But it could also be ball lightning or any sort of plasma ball phenomenon. On the right here, you'll see the 7 different colors of the prism when light interacts with the prism. The arrows are saying that, hey, these colors are different frequencies, and that's why they're different colors. I like this picture a lot. This picture sums up how everything is in this shape. Just look at this center one in the middle here. Look at this top vortex and this bottom vortex. In the center, you get this great expansion of magnetic waves right in the center of unity. And then right here, us.